On day 1, I spawned in as Mikey from MAIZEN. Alright JJ, what are we doing today? Wait, where's JJ? Mikey is never without his best buddy JJ. Oh no, JJ must be in trouble. Luckily, I've got 8 hearts. It must be because I'm a turtle. I've got this tough shell to help protect me from danger, and I'm probably a really good swimmer. This'll help me find JJ for sure. I looked up and realized I'd spawned under a tree filled with apples, so I reached up to pick myself a thinking snack. But before I could take a bite, an arrow flew past my head. Oh no, skeletons! I grabbed as many apples as I could carry and ran away before one of their arrows hit me, since I had to stay in one piece to find JJ. Hey, what's the big idea? I'm just picking apples. I just kept running and running until I found a log cabin in the middle of the woods. It wasn't anything fancy, and it definitely needed some repairs, but it was cozy and a perfect place to hide for the night. There was even a lake right next to the cabin. Maybe I could go swimming once I was sure the skeletons were gone. And there were probably fish to catch in there for dinner. I just wish that JJ were here to see it too. On day 2, I went exploring around the lake and gathered some wood. I gathered enough wood to make an axe. I could use it to fix up the cabin for when I found JJ. Next, I went back to the apple tree to gather some more fruit. Hey, with enough apples, maybe I could even make a pie. But I didn't have the chance to think too much more about that because there was a gremlin chef coming up to pick apples too.
Please don't take all the apples. I need at least 4.
Don't worry, I left you plenty.
Oh, thank you. I was worried.
Have you seen my friend JJ? He's missing.
Don't know anyone by that name, I'm afraid. Someone in the village might. You should go ask around.
Thanks, I will.
Just be careful. Someone's been stealing animals and supplies around here. Maybe they took your friend, too.
I sure hoped not, but if JJ was in trouble, I would find a way to help him. Thank you, Chef. Good luck with whatever you're making.
It's pie.
Great minds think alike. And I guess he was pretty great. I took my apples back to the cabin, and along the way I found some sticks and string. I used them to craft a fishing rod and went fishing in the lake. I caught 3 fish. On day 3, I decided to work on fixing up the cabin as much as I could. I patched some holes in the wall and added a fence all around it for some extra protection. While I was working on the cabin, I found a secret back room. It was hidden behind a picture hanging on the wall. There was so much space back there. I had no idea. If I couldn't find that room without looking super carefully, then I was willing to bet no monsters would be able to find me in there either. I decided to make the secret back room my new base and got to work filling it with everything I found so far: the apples, the fish, and my tools. Then I went back to the lake to try and catch some more fish. Before I started fishing, I saw a block near the trees that looked a little strange. I used my pickaxe to break it open, and inside was a nasty silverfish. I should have been more careful. I knew they could contaminate blocks in some areas. I managed to fight off the silverfish, and when I got finished, I felt myself getting stronger. Defeating them made me a better fighter, and I knew I could handle the next enemy way better. Clearly, the exercise helped, because now I had 10 hearts. I was so excited, I swam around the lake, and I was an even faster swimmer too. What an exciting day, but I couldn't lose sight of my goal. I had to find JJ. On day 4 to 5, I was walking toward the village to see if anyone there could help me find JJ. On the way, I found a bush full of sweet berries. I stopped to pick some of the berries when all of a sudden I was surrounded by skeletons again. This time, there was no way for me to run away. Why are you doing this? What do you want?
The boss wants us to bring you to him, just like your little friend.
JJ, you know where he is?
Of course we kidnapped him, in the service of the fallen king.
Who is that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would. That's why I'm asking.
Enough talking. You're coming with us.
But I was stronger this time than I was before. I'd have to face them, and I wasn't going anywhere without a fight. The skeletons started closing in on me, but I pulled out my axe and started swinging as fast and as hard as I could. I wasn't sure if I'd make it. There were so many of them, but I fought hard and used my newfound strength and speed to get them tired out and taken down. Then I grabbed my berries and ran back to my base, safe and sound. But I still had so many questions. What did they do with JJ? Where did they want to take me, and why? And who was the fallen king, and what did he have planned? I needed to get a good night's rest, because there was definitely a big fight waiting for me in the days to come. On days 6 to 8, I found a cave in the woods where I could do some mining. I was going to need a lot more tools if I was going to find the fallen king and get JJ back from him. Wow, this cave is amazing! Look at all of this stuff! I found some flint, coal, iron, and even some gold. I took all the materials back to my base, crafted some furnaces, and crafted a pickaxe, a sword, a bow and arrow, and a pair of shiny gold boots. These will help protect me when I go up against those skeletons again. It had gotten pretty dark by the time I was finished, and I heard some strange noises coming from outside my cabin. I looked outside, and there were a bunch of ghast trying to get inside. They were floating by the fence, opening their mouths and getting ready to shoot fireballs at me. You picked the wrong cabin to mess with. If you just turn around and leave, we won't have to have any trouble. Otherwise, I'm going to get my bow and start firing arrows, and you won't like that very much. I waited for them to leave, but they didn't listen to my warning. Time to fight some ghast then. I grabbed my bow and shot the first arrow. Before long, they were retreating, running away from the cabin like they were scared of me. I guess they were. With my new equipment, I was even tougher than before. With the danger gone for now, I hopped into bed to get some well-deserved rest. On days 9 and 10, I finally made it into the village. I was looking for answers, but I was also looking for some more supplies. I couldn't keep eating apples, berries, and fish. I needed all my strength if I was going to find JJ and defeat the fallen king. But when I arrived in the village, something was wrong. All of the shops had their doors closed and locked, and no one was walking around outside. It was as if they were all hiding in their houses. Hello? Anyone here? But no one answered. Maybe they were scared of me, but why? I was just a friendly turtle, looking to buy some food and ask some questions. Someone opened their door and pushed out one loaf of bread, before closing it and locking it again. Oh, that must be for me. Thank you. I took the bread and headed back to my base. As I made my way through the woods, I saw a dark figure standing between the trees. He was wearing black armor with purple horns.
So, this is where you've been hiding.
Who are you?
Don't you know by now? After all, I am the one who took your friend.
The fallen king. What have you done with JJ?
I'll tell you, if you just come with me.
Never! I drew my sword, ready to battle with him, when suddenly a friendly cat jumped out of a tree and landed in front of me.
No, don't do it. He's too strong to take on by yourself.
But he has JJ.
He took my friend too. I'll help you, but if you try now, you'll lose.
As I watched, the fallen king sprouted a pair of purple wings and flew away.
I'll be back.
Then it was just me and the cat. What's your name, kitty?
Bella.
Nice to meet you, Bella. On days 11 to 12, I built another bed in the cabin so Bella could have a place to sleep. I just knew she and JJ were going to get along great once we saved him. Then the two of us went out to gather supplies for the coming battle with the fallen king. She was really good at catching fish and didn't even need a rod to do it. Suddenly, she looked up at something.
Look out!
I turned to see what she was warning me about, and I saw a wither skeleton running toward me with its sword drawn. It hit me, and I fell to the ground, losing hearts. I tried to get up and fight back, but it hit me again, hard. I lost more hearts. Luckily, the wither skeleton didn't follow us, but the damage was done, and I was getting pretty worried. I went back into the mine and looked for anything I could use, and I found some more gold. Perfect! I hurried back home to craft a gold sword and went back out looking for the wither skeleton. It was still by the lake when I got there. This time, I was able to fight back and knock it down. Back at the base, I gave Bella my old sword. Now we're both ready to fight. While I was gone, she planted seeds for wheat and apple trees. When we finally got JJ back, I just knew he was going to love the amazing base we were making together. On days 13 to 15, I was working on the cabin when Bella came and found me.
There's something you need to see.
What is it?
I found a book. I think it's about the fallen king. Take a look.
It looked like it was decades old, and the pages were almost falling out. I picked up the book and started to read. Long ago, there was a greedy king. He was an ordinary man, but his evil heart made him seem more like a monster. All day long, he would steal from his villagers, taking their food, their gold, and even kidnapping people to take to his castle. There, he would force them to compete in challenges for their freedom, trying to see which one was the strongest, the toughest, and the smartest. When he found the winner, he would defeat them in a challenge one-on-one to show that he was the very best in all the land. The people rose up and stormed his castle, rebelling against all the pain and strife he had caused. But the king had a secret plan in place, and just when they thought they had defeated him, he became something else. A shadowy warrior with purple wings and horns. He went into hiding, but promised to one day return to take back the throne once again. When the fallen king returns, only a brave hero, led by the power of goodness and friendship, will be able to stop him. But what did any of that have to do with me?
It's you. You're the hero.
No, I'm just me. I can't defeat some magical king. I just want to get my friend JJ back so we can have fun exploring.
But
forget this. I didn't want to admit it, but I was scared. What if I wasn't strong enough? What if I let everyone down? JJ, Bella, and myself. On days 16 to 19, I woke up and noticed that Bella was gone. And when I looked outside, I saw footprints. Someone must have come to the cabin and taken her, but it didn't look like the work of the fallen king, and I could see snow tracked on the ground that hadn't melted yet. I remembered that there was snow further up in the mountains around the forest. That must be where Bella is. I hiked up the mountain until the whole world around me was as snowy and icy as it could be. It took me 2 whole days to make it. But then I finally saw Bella. She was locked in a cage, guarded by snow nightmares. Bella, what happened?
I managed to escape these guys before I found you, but they must have tracked me down. You have to help me, please.
I'll do my best.
It's not just me either. Look.
I looked. The snow nightmares heard me planning and started closing in on me. I drew my gold sword and started to swing at them. They went down one by one, and suddenly I noticed myself getting bigger. I gained 2 hearts, and I had a total of 12 now. I released Bella from her cage, and together we fought off the rest of the snow nightmares. Then we freed the fox.
Thank you so much. How can I ever repay you?
What do you know about the fallen king? He has my friend, and I have to defeat him. I knew now I could do it if I tried.
I've only heard a little bit, but I know there is supposed to be a legendary potion. The only way to defeat him for good, so he never comes back again.
Do you know where it is?
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't even know for sure if it's real.
And with that, the fox scurried away. But we knew more than we did before, and tomorrow we would start looking for the potion. On days 20 to 22, we made it back to the cabin and found it covered in even more gas. Get out of here, you creeps! I started firing arrows at them with my bow. They scattered before they could do any damage to the base, and Bella and I went inside.
Tell me more about JJ. He sounds pretty special if you're going to all this trouble for him.
He's my best friend. We do everything together. Or we did, before the Fallen King's skeletons kidnapped him. But he always knows how to have fun. He's the best at challenges, and he supports me through the good and the bad times.
Maybe we could do something to honor him, to remember what you're fighting for, like build a statue.
That's a great idea. Before I went to gather supplies for the statue, I placed torches all around the perimeter of the base. This should keep any more nasty monsters out. With that long overdue change taken care of, I went to harvest some wood for the great big statue we were going to build of JJ. I found some chickens and harvested their feathers. Back at the cabin, I cleared a whole bunch of grass and blocks to make space for the statue. Then Bella and I got to work building. It was so much easier with Bella there to help. Work always goes by faster when you have a friend lending a hand, or a paw. And hey, by the way, thank you for watching. If you liked the video so far, that would mean the world to me if you subscribed and turned on notifications. That way, you'll be sure to catch my next adventure. Thanks! On days 23 to 26, I was in the cabin when suddenly a skeleton came up to the door. He was wearing full armor and carrying a big, impressive sword. Get out of here, bonehead! I attacked him with my own sword and managed to chase him off. As he ran away, I noticed that he dropped something. It was a shield, a brigand shield to be exact. I decided to test it out. Bella, attack me with your axe.
What?
Just do it. I want to try something. She ran at me with her axe, and the shield protected me. It blocked every single blow. Wow, this thing is amazing. Just as I was preparing to test out my new shield some more, I heard someone rustling around outside the door to the cabin. If that's another skeleton. But when I looked, I saw a cat instead.
Bella, are you here? I heard from the fox that you found a safe place to stay. Kiki, it's you. This is my friend I told you about. How did you get away? I managed to sneak out while the king was busy with something else. Someone named JJ helped distract him.
That's my friend. Was he okay?
He was, but he definitely needs help. But I'm so tired from running for days. Can I stay here, please?
Of course. I let Kiki inside and decided to ask her some more questions tomorrow. On days 27 to 31, I asked Kiki what she might happen to know about a legendary potion, the one that the fox had told us about.
I don't know much about it, but I do know someone who does. A wise old monkey who lives on an island not too far away.
So we'll need to find a boat.
Don't worry. I know someone who will let us borrow his. Come with me.
Kiki and I said goodbye to Bella and left to go get ourselves a boat and travel to see the wise monkey. We borrowed a boat from a kind man with a shop by the ocean and set sail toward the island. After a couple of days at sea though, we suddenly felt something hit the side of the boat, shaking it all over. What was that? I looked over the side of the boat into the water and saw a huge shark ramming itself into the boat. It snapped its teeth at me and tried to bite me. No way, we've got places to be. I shot an arrow at the shark, but I missed. It tried to bite the boat, but I fired another arrow. This time, I hit it. Wounded, the shark swam away and out of sight. I guess these waters are more dangerous than I thought. We'll have to keep an eye out for more trouble. Somehow, I had the feeling we would encounter more danger before we had everything we needed, but it was all worth it to find my friend. On days 32 to 35, we found a hut along the beach surrounded by palm trees full of coconuts. I stopped to pick some coconuts to take back to my base.
Hey, those are my coconuts.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Excuse me, are you Wise Jim?
Who's asking?
I'm Kiki, and this is my friend. We heard you might know something about the legendary potion of light.
I might, but how do I know I can trust you?
We're preparing to fight the fallen king. He has my friend, JJ, and we need to rescue him.
So you're looking for the potion, eh?
We all turned around, and there was the fallen king, hovering over the water with his wings spread out wide.
You'll never find it, and you'll never defeat me.
Get ready for a beating, fallen king. We won't let you get away with this.
Oh, really? You and what army? Find me when you're ready. Pathetic.
Then the fallen king turned and left, leaving us looking on angrily. We turned to Wise Jim the monkey. Would you like to come back with us to our base? It should be safer there.
Yes, please. Let me just pack a bag.
And he grabbed as many coconuts and bananas as he could carry.
Okay, now I'm ready.
So with plenty of snacks for the journey, we all boarded the boat together. On days 36 to 39, I had arrived back at the base with Kiki and our new friend, Wise Jim. While he enjoyed some bananas and took in the new view, Kiki, Bella, and me all got to work building a new area for him to stay in. We added a treehouse onto one of the trees just outside the cabin. Here, this is just for you. We hope you like it.
Like it? I love it.
Once he was all settled, I decided to ask him what he knew about the legendary potion, or the potion of light.
The potion of light. Yes, I've heard many stories about it. I can't say for sure where it is hidden, but I do know that it is buried in an abandoned mineshaft out in the Badlands. But be warned, it is a harsh landscape, and there are no friendly creatures that live there.
The Badlands, huh? Sounds pretty bad. I'll need to make sure I prepare before I go. Before I could leave for the Badlands though, Bella and I needed to work on the next part of the JJ statue. I couldn't help but feel like if I could finish it before I faced off against the fallen king, I would be brave enough to rescue the friend it represented. With the power of friendship on my side, no Badlands monsters, skeletons, or even the fallen king himself could stand in my way. From days 40 to 43, I headed down into the mines to look for some diamonds. I saw Kiki running out of a tunnel, screaming. What's going on?
Spiders! That tunnel is full of spiders!
Did you happen to see any diamonds in there?
I did, but the spiders were crawling around all over them. Yuck! I'm out of here.
Just a couple little spiders? I fought ghast and skeletons. I can handle spiders. I took a look into the cave and saw the spiders all over the ground. They were pretty big, and I didn't want to get anywhere near them. So I fired an arrow at the spiders from a distance instead. They didn't like that too much, and they swarmed at me. One of them bit me, and it was poisonous. It brought me down to 2 hearts. I had to draw my sword and fight it if I wanted to survive. It was a close call, but I managed to defeat the spiders without breaking my sword or losing any more hearts. I scooped up the diamonds and rushed back to my base with them. There, I used them to craft a diamond axe, diamond sword, and diamond boots. Sparkly and super strong and durable. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the Badlands in search of the underground mineshaft where the potion of light was hidden. Wow, look at all of this sand, and it's so hot out. I hope I can find the potion fast. I'm already getting thirsty. As I was walking through the sand and looking for some shade to take a quick break in, I suddenly locked eyes with an Enderman. Uh-oh. But then I remembered, I was much stronger than I had been before, and I had all my upgraded gear. This was going to be a snap. After just a few hits, the Enderman went down. I was honestly kind of surprised at how easy it was. Maybe I could take on the fallen king after all. Maybe it wouldn't even be that hard. As I kept walking, I saw more Endermen up ahead, attacking a horse. Hey, leave him alone! But the horse didn't need my help. He took down the Enderman all by himself and then galloped over to me.
Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Zozo. I'm out here looking for a special potion. Have you heard anything about it?
I found the mine shaft where it was hidden, but it was gone. All that was left was a note saying it had been taken away and hidden somewhere else by the ocean.
Oh, I guess I need to head that way then.
Are you trying to fight the fallen king? Let me help you. Hop on my back, and I'll get you there faster.
So I jumped onto Ed's back, and we rode off into the sunset. On days 50 to 53, I rode on Ed's back all the way to the beach. After how dry and dusty the Badlands were, it was amazing to breathe in that cool sea air. Do you think we could take a break and go swimming, Ed? The water looks great.
Sounds like a swell idea to me.
So we hopped into the water and started splashing around. It was so much fun, and I couldn't wait to splash around with JJ when we finally rescued him. But that would have to wait. We had company. Oh no, it's the shark. That's right, the shark was back, and he looked hungry. He was a super scary enemy before, but that was before I got my diamond sword. Take that, Sharky! With a few strong hits, I was able to turn this shark into sushi, and Ed and I were safe again. Now it was time to look around. Maybe the legendary potion of light was around here somewhere. That's when we found a little cove on the edge of the beach and the friendly ocean nymph that lived there. I asked her about the note telling us we could find the potion of light on the beach, but she told us if the potion was ever here, it's gone now. Bummer! How am I ever going to fight the Fallen King and save my friend JJ? I think the friendly ocean nymph felt bad for me because she gave me a diamond helmet to match my axe, sword, and boots. I'm even tougher now. On days 54 to 57, I decided I needed to beef up the base's security to keep me and my friends safe from the Fallen King. After all, he's attacked us before, he could always do it again. Maybe the base needed a bigger wall, made of stone this time. If I mine enough stone to make a big strong wall, there's no way the Fallen King's forces are gonna get in and kidnap us. So that's exactly what I did. When I'd finished mining the stone and building the wall, I put torches along the top for extra safety. That's when Wise Jim came over.
Hey, I've been whipping up a new enchantment that'll help you defeat the Fallen King. But I need a favor. Some zombies have been hanging around my favorite banana tree. Go scare them off.
That enchantment sounded pretty sweet, so I grabbed my bow and arrow and went after the mob of zombies hanging around Wise Jim's favorite banana tree. I've gotten so strong now, these guys are no challenge for me. I ran in, firing arrow after arrow, until those nasty zombies were running for the hills. I know JJ would have been so proud of me. When I went back to Wise Jim, he gave my diamond sword an unbreakable enchantment, making it stronger and tougher than it had ever been. I bet the Fallen King is shaking in his boots. Don't worry, JJ, I'm almost strong enough to come and save you. On days 58 to 62, things got serious. It all started when I was working on my JJ statue. I think I was about half done, and it was looking great. I needed to make it perfect, so when I rescued JJ and all my new friends got to meet him, he'd be able to see what a good job I did. I was so wrapped up in making the statue perfect, I didn't even notice that some of the Fallen King's scariest goons were on their way. A gang of skeletons in full diamond armor with diamond swords.
This has gone on far enough. The Fallen King has sent us to crack your shell, destroy your base, and leave nothing standing. Give up or face our wrath.
But there was no way I was going to give in. I told Bella and Kiki to hold inside the base and make sure nobody got in, while Wise Jim and I took on the diamond skeletons.
Let's show these boneheads who's boss.
But the fight was way harder than we thought. The Fallen King must have sent some of his best men, because as we fought, they just wouldn't go down. Thankfully, Wise Jim and I fought hard enough to defeat some of the diamond skeletons and send the rest running. We were just about to celebrate when one of the fleeing skeletons fired an arrow from the woods and hit Wise Jim. No! I tried to help, but it was already too late. Wise Jim was gone. On days 63 to 66, I chased the diamond skeleton into the deep dark forest as he ran away. He destroyed Wise Jim, and I needed to avenge him. There was no way I'd let them escape, no matter how spooky the deep forest got. Get back here. You wanna fight? Let's fight! I backed him into a corner and threatened him with my unbreakable diamond sword. Tell me, where can I find the legendary potion of light?
You'll never get it. It's being guarded by one of the Fallen King's strongest warriors at the bottom of the King's royal gold mine. And besides, you're not leaving this forest alive.
That's when the other surviving diamond skeletons came out of the woods around me. Oh no, this whole thing was a trap. They were trying to lure me away from the base this whole time. This is for you, Wise Jim. I'll never forget you. That's when I fought the strongest I ever fought and defeated all of the skeletons except one, who was shaking with fear. Thankfully, he could still be useful to me. Tell me, where can I find the Fallen King's royal gold mine? On days 67 to 70, using the last diamond skeleton's instructions, I made my way to the Fallen King's royal gold mine. It was huge and horrible. Villagers that the Fallen King had kidnapped were being forced to mine gold for him, or they'd be attacked by some of his skeleton warriors. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna get you out of here. Who's the boss around these parts? The captured villagers told me to travel further into the mine, where I'd meet one of the Fallen King's strongest warriors, Dorzen, the Soul Eater, a huge red monster with a scary smile and a fist made of stone. He was so tough, even my diamond sword would have trouble hurting him. He was waiting next to a pit filled with lava. It isn't too late to give up, Dorzen. Tell me where to find the potion of light and let all these villagers go, and I won't have to hurt you. But Dorzen wasn't interested in talking this out. I don't even know if he could talk. He just attacked me and managed to take all of my hits while beating me again and again. He was for sure the toughest enemy I'd ever faced. It was such a big mistake to come here alone. Just as Dorzen was about to throw me into the lava pit, Ed the horse charged in.
Get away from my friend, you monster!
Ed charged right into Dorzen and knocked him over into the magma pit. Dorzen got burned and ran off. He'd probably think twice about messing with us again. Thanks for the save, Ed. On days 71 to 74, Ed and I searched through the mine to find where Dorzen may have been hiding the legendary Potion of Light. Ed was still grateful for me defeating the shark that attacked us on the beach, so he was more than happy to help me rescue JJ from the Fallen King. Eventually, after mining through some stone, we found a secret door that led into Dorzon the Soul Eater's lair. Talk about spooky! The place was dark, lit only by a few little torches, and scary-looking weapons on racks over the walls. There were even a few villagers locked up in a cage. We let them out, of course, along with all the others. But no matter how hard we looked, we couldn't find the Potion of Light. It didn't make sense. That skeleton told me Dorzon was hiding it in the Fallen King's royal gold mine.
Look, I found a note.
What does it say, Ed?
I don't know. Horses can't read.
He was right, so I took a look at the note. It came directly from the Fallen King. It said,
Well, well, well. It looks like you found your way into my mind. Exactly as I expected. You're an impressive one. I can see why JJ talks about you all the time. If you care about him, I suggest you stop looking, or both of you are going to get hurt.
Rats! Looks like the Fallen King was always one step ahead. On days 75 to 78, I headed back to the base to build some improvements and think about what I'd learned. After Wise Jim died, I was worried about Bella and Kiki, and I realized that if more of the Fallen King's army attacked, they needed a safe place to hide. I added an iron safe room to the inside of the base with a secure door and torches to ward off mobs. If someone attacked, they could hide in there while I fought off the bad guys. I had also taken some gold from the Fallen King's gold mine and turned it into a chest plate and some leggings. That's when Dorzon the Soul Eater returned, and Bella and Kiki ran off to hide in the new safe room. It was time for me and Dorzon to finish this. He was tough, even with his lava burns, but with my new armor, I was able to get an edge and defeat him for good. Dorzon won't be eating any more souls. And for defeating such an evil monster, I got upgraded. I was bigger, stronger, faster, and my shell was tougher than ever. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see the Fallen King take me on now. That's when I noticed that Dorzon had dropped a note I was never meant to see, directly from the Fallen King. It read,
Once you've captured Zozo, take him to my mountain castle. My other operative will meet you there.
And now, he's gonna be meeting me. On days 79 to 84, I traveled alone to the Fallen King's mountain castle, where Dorzon was going to meet another one of the Fallen King's goons. Surely this guy would be able to direct me to the king himself. But when I finally arrived at the castle, after 2 days of mountain climbing, I didn't find any monsters waiting for me. I turned to see a Viking named Bjorn walking up behind me, carrying a diamond axe.
Hello, my friend. I see you too are seeking the Fallen King. He kidnapped one of my friends too. Maybe we can work together.
That's a great idea. Let's do it. You can help me free my friend JJ, and I can help you free yours. Wait, how did you find out about this mountain castle, Bjorn?
Good question.
That's when Bjorn suddenly attacked me with his diamond axe. Thankfully, with my upgraded shell and full set of armor, he couldn't do too much damage. I pulled out my diamond sword and hit him until he gave up and dropped his weapon. Bjorn was the Fallen King's other goon all along. Okay, Bjorn, if that is your real name, tell me where I can find the Fallen King.
It is my real name, and the Fallen King's true base is in the Dread Palace, in the volcanic magma fields.
But that's one of the most dangerous places on the map. How could anyone live there?
The Fallen King is undefeatable. He can live anywhere he likes. And if you think you can just waltz in there and defeat him, then you've got a death wish, kid.
On days 85 to 89, I made my way back to my base, feeling more doubtful than ever. Sure, I had a cool sword and a tough shell, but what's that worth compared to the Fallen King and his army of evil? What if there was no way for me to save JJ, and he just ended up being forced to mine gold for an evil king in a palace full of lava? I felt so down about all this that I decided to just go to bed. That's when Bella came and woke me up. She had some words of encouragement for me.
Don't you remember the story? You're the hero who's destined to defeat the Fallen King.
Maybe the story is wrong, Bella. He's so much more powerful than I thought. Even some of his foot soldiers were able to beat Wise Jim. How can I beat him? That's when Bella had a genius idea.
Maybe you can use your natural skills against him. You're a turtle. You have a tough shell. Maybe you don't need armor.
But why would I fight without armor?
Isn't it obvious? The Fallen King wears a huge set of heavy armor. It's tough, but it slows him down. If you go in there without your armor, you'll still be tough because of your shell, but you'll be able to run circles around the Fallen King. Maybe that's the edge you need.
It was a wild idea. So wild, it just might work. On days 90 to 94, I prepared for the final battle against the fallen king and to rescue JJ. I removed my armor, just like Bella said. I was so much faster. I bet the fallen king could never be this fast. I bet I can leave that meanie in the dust. But if I'm relying on my natural defenses, I'm gonna need to make sure I've got one heck of an attack. I needed to gather the material to upgrade my diamond sword and my bow. Enough that even the fallen king and his strongest minions won't stand a chance. First, the sword. Using some of the knowledge from the books Wise Jim kept in his treehouse, I gave my unbreakable sword 3 more enchantments. Sharpness, which increases damage. Knockback, which knocks my enemies back when I hit them. And finally, Fire Aspect, which sets my enemies on fire when I hit them directly. I can't wait to show JJ this awesome sword when I rescue him. Next, I upgraded my bow. Just like my sword, I gave it extra power, which makes it do even more damage. Then I gave it knockback so I could stun my enemies and knock them off their feet. And of course, flame, so my arrows will set my enemies on fire, just like my sword. Ha! The fallen king isn't going to know what hit him. Hang in there, JJ. I'm gonna defeat the king, save you, and set everybody free. Believe it. On days 95 to 97, I started to get nervous. Sure, I was a lot stronger and faster and had way more powerful weapons than I used to, but every time I'd faced the fallen king before, he was so scary, I needed to run away rather than defeat him. What if he's got even more tricks up his sleeve? No, I can't think like this. I can't let him get into my head. This is just what he wants. To try and calm my nerves, I decided to finally finish my JJ statue. Even if I was too weak to take down the fallen king and save my friend from his clutches, I'd have this statue to remember him by. But when I actually finished the statue, everything changed. I realized it'd been the first time in almost 100 days that I'd seen JJ. But this wasn't JJ, it was just a statue. It couldn't talk to me, play games with me, do fun Minecraft challenges with me. It couldn't do anything that JJ could do with me. It could just sit there and remind me that he's gone. That's it. I can't afford to be a coward. Even if I'm afraid, even if I'm in danger, it's worth the risk to get JJ back. I know I'm strong enough to do this. It's time to take the fallen king down. And when JJ is here again, he's going to see this awesome statue that I made for him. There's just one more thing that I need to do first. On day 98, I spoke to my friends at the base, Bella, Kiki, and Ed the horse. I told them that I was going to go to the Dread Palace, take on the fallen king, and get JJ back.
I want to come too.
Yeah, let me tag along. Let's take down this evil guy. No. Kiki, Ed, you've put yourself in too much danger already. You two hang back and stay in the safe room. We've known each other the longest. We started this, so we'll finish this.
Nobody can disagree with that. The two of us took the time to discuss a battle plan before we set off. After all, the fallen king had always been one step ahead, so we needed to make sure that we would be 2 steps ahead if we wanted to beat him. And with that, we were ready to set off. Anything else you want to say? Seeing as this might be the last time we see each other, if this goes badly and the Fallen King captures us.
Good luck.
And make sure to subscribe to Zozo. Z-O-Z-O. We've got even more crazy, wild, and exciting adventures to come, where our hero fights diabolical villains, makes awesome bases and weapons, and meets more interesting friends like us.
All of us agreed, and with that, Bella and I set off for the Dread Palace. On day 99, the assault on the Dread Palace finally began. Just as we expected, the Fallen King had the place heavily guarded. A bunch of diamond-armored skeleton warriors were assembled outside the front gate. But it's okay, we planned for this. Good luck, Bella, I believe in you. The first stage in the plan was simple. Bella would go in first with her cat speed and agility and distract the first wave of guards. With the skeleton army drawn away from the front gate, it was time for me to storm in and take charge. But of course, it wasn't that easy. In the opening hallway of the Dread Palace, the Fallen King had built in trapdoors that dropped down into pits full of molten lava. Yikes! Thankfully, I was able to dodge the trapdoors and keep going. But it wasn't over yet. Not by a long shot. Once I made it past the first few hallways, the Fallen King deployed another one of his deadly minions, the Behemoth, a huge, extremely powerful monster. I needed to be careful. Even a couple hits from a monster like that would destroy me. But because I was only wearing my natural armor, just like Bella and I had planned, I could run circles around him. I hit him several times with my fully upgraded sword, setting him on fire and knocking him down for good. Is that the best you got, Fallen King? Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, over here! I recognized that voice. It was JJ. I'd finally found him. No time to waste. I ran over to the cell the Fallen King was keeping my best friend in and set him free. I was so excited to be hanging out with him again. But we weren't done yet. I told him to head back to our base. I have some unfinished business to take care of. On day 100, with JJ saved, I needed to make sure he and everyone else was never captured again. I needed to fight and defeat the fallen king once and for all. I ran deeper into the Dread Palace, sword and bow ready to take on anything I saw. First, more diamond-armored skeletons, which I was able to take out with a quick volley of arrows. Bam! 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 They ran away, screaming and on fire. Then, a behemoth and Soul Eater tag team emerged from the dark as I got even closer to the throne room. These guys would have seemed tough a while back, but after what I'd been through, nothing could stop me. I pulled out my enchanted diamond sword and went to work, sending them burning and running just like the skeletons. I felt unstoppable until I reached the throne room. There stood the fallen king, and it looked like this whole time he was waiting for me.
At long last, you're here. You've been a thorn in my side for too long. Now I'm going to destroy you personally. Are you ready to see true power?
Rather than replying, I shot the fallen king with a bunch of superpowered arrows, but all that seemed to do was make him laugh. But that's when he got really scary. The fallen king unleashed his true form, growing larger and more powerful than he'd ever been before. I couldn't fight him like this. I needed to run. I kept running down the hallway as this giant, terrifying version of the fallen king left the throne room and chased me.
You can't run forever. You're mine now.
I ducked into the fallen king's supply room, closed the door, and began building a brick wall in front of it. But that wouldn't hold him for long. He was already starting to smash his way through it. Think! But that's when I saw it. Sitting on the shelf, the legendary Potion of Light. Wasting no time, I grabbed and took the potion. That's when everything changed. I grew to the same size as the fallen king. My hearts and armor literally doubled. I was faster, stronger, and even had the power of light on my side to go against the fallen king's darkness. When he breached the wall, the battle was on. I attacked him relentlessly, dodging his attacks and striking back at him. Just like Bella said, even in his upgraded state, his heavy armor slowed him down. He couldn't stop me from getting him.
Curse you! Curse you!
I struck him one more time with my burning sword, and the fire consumed him. The fallen king was no more, and everyone he'd captured was free. When I finally returned to the base, I saw that JJ and Bella had returned safely, and were hanging out with Ed and Kiki next to the statue I made.
Hey, is that supposed to be me?